Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Flatirons Syndicate Motorsports Podcast. This show is brought to you by Flatirons Tuning, your source for any aftermarket or OEM Subaru parts. Be sure to check out our store at flatironstuning.com and stay tuned with Flatirons Tuning.
I'm curious
Yep.
if I can ask, I don't know how much this you can share or not, kind of your route into the Rally Cross program. And what got me thinking this is a chicken or the egg kind of situation where you got the seat and then needed to do some gravel training or got some gravel training and then found a love for it and then found your way over to Subaru Motorsports. What was that process kind of like and what led you to that seat?
Shifter karting. I started shifter karting, local track. All the fast guys were there. Got really fast on tarmac. I was about to start racing Grand Am and Porsche, and then my agent was the same. I had the same agent as Block, Mira, Pastrana. So when Pastrana went to NASCAR, I was about to start racing Porsches in Grand Am at the time. My agent called me up. He was like, "How do you feel about rally? You want to go test for this rally seat?" And I was like, this is exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want to come into a sport where I'm not at the level I should be. Where if you threw me in a Grand Am race in a Porsche, I'd probably be top, mid to top pack. That's where my skill level was if I was in a good car. Going into rally, I was like, man, this is exactly what I don't want. I don't want to be the guy who got the seat because I skateboard. I'm good at the skateboard. I was like, I'll go, but I need to set up some testing. So I went and trained with Forrest, and then I went and tested for the seat at Subaru, and I was faster than the guys they were already on the team. And here I am, this tarmac guy, but luckily it was actually at a tarmac track. The only thing I needed to learn about the car was the low RPM. Coming from Porsches, I was freaking shifting like 8,000 RPM, 9,000 RPM. And then the engineers were like, you got to shift at like 6,500. I was like, what? That is bullshit. 6,500.
It's just starting to warm up.
Yeah. So after I learned that and dialed it back on my shift points, it was game on. I just only struggle for me was like when I would come to a dirt corner or something where I had to like back it down and like intuition was just not there. And I was just like learning kind of on the spot, like in this racing atmosphere. So it was intense. It was freaking awesome.
Was that testing in it? Was that in a rallycross car?
It was actually a rally car. My first year of driving was actually in a rally car. They converted to a rally cross. It was a stage car converted to a rally cross car with like 100 less horsepower. So like I was doomed from the beginning. It was like I got off the line one time. I was a car and a half out front of everyone else. By turn one, I was last.
Right. This was.
I was like,
man.
So I would race my heart out. I would still do pretty good what I was given, and it was just eventually we got a better car and a faster car. So
yeah, it was Subaru. I think that was a challenging environment for them because it was. I think kind of what you said. They expected that what they had as a current rally car would be successful in that environment, but there were people
it was in the beginning. When they were racing at the Coliseum and all that, like back in the day, stage rally cars and rallycross cars, they were all kind of like same horsepower. When those Fiestas came over, they just walked. They walked everyone. They were so freaking fast, and
those were the rallycross cars that like were built and successful in Europe that they brought over.
Yeah,
it's a whole different game over there.
Yeah. So they came in and the team just wasn't ready for that.
It's one of those.
Power was the big difference. Sorry, you got a little lag here, so I keep interrupting you, John. Well, would you say like power was a big difference between the cars, or just general chassis setup, or
There's definitely power. For my car, my chassis was pretty whatever. It might have had a couple extra roll bars, in it, a little heavier, but it was definitely the motor package in my car. I don't know why they just didn't have enough. Or
if I remember right, too, was the Subaru heavier by a decent amount? Because the Fiestas were a much smaller chassis. And the Impreza was a good deal larger.
Yeah, it was mainly the power though.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we weren't spending the money on engine development. We were actually spending money on just engines. So we were just
That
popping
sounds like
engines
my program.
like Skittles, man. It was like
Oh
Skittles.
man. Yep. There
There
you
it
go.
is.
There you go. Man. Well, and the other thing that's really interesting to me about that is that you built up this tarmac experience, and then kind of what led you into all of this path is the tarmac experience paid off because there was a good chunk of the testing that was done on tarmac, and then there was
Yeah.
just they were throwing dirt into it.
Yeah. So it did kind of pay off. It was just learning the car, learning the longer travel suspension, and that kind of stuff was just stuff that I had to learn and just dial in with intuition, and so that I wasn't thinking about it. I could concentrate on racing more, you know.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, so what other kinds of racing like are kind of on your radar? I mean, you said hill climb. I'm
Yeah.
guessing maybe some kind of time attack or circuit racing
Okay.
is on your radar. Is there anything
Yeah.
else that you're kind of keeping your eyes open for?
I like to do some gymkhana stuff.
Okay.
Maybe some fun drift stuff, but nothing competitive. I don't really see myself doing that. But I'd be down to getting in some tarmac racing, more stage rally, of course, and I'd love to get back in a rally cross car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you because when we last talked and you were kind of firing up and going down the stage rally path again, that it sounds like you had that's what you really wanted to do, like more than even the rally cross. But now maybe are you kind of 50-50 at this point?
Yeah. I will 100% always go stage rally, but I definitely want. How can you not want to drive Travis's Nitro Rallycross tracks? Those tracks
Oh,
look
yeah.
Yeah, right.
like I don't even care about racing them. If I could I just want to drive the car on it. Like just give me some seat time in that car on that track.
Yeah.
You know, give me 30 minutes. I just need 30 minutes. That's it.
Thanks for tuning in. To hear the whole conversation, click below for the full episode of this podcast or tune in every week on iTunes or Spotify. If you like these episodes, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel because your support is what makes all of this possible. As always, this show is brought to you by Flatirons Tuning, your premier source for any Subaru OEM or aftermarket parts. Check out our website at flatironstuning.com, and as always, stay tuned with Flatirons Tuning.